Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. Last time, we arrived on the Bionis shoulder and landed completely safely with no stowaways or other problems. Yeah, a lot of things just kind of went wrong all at the same time. Well, we're gonna hope to pick ourselves up from that a little bit better and see what's going on around here at Companion's Cape. We got a lot to do around here. Oh wow, a red item orb. That's a key item needed for a quest later. Pororo's favorite. Okay, well, make note of that because I sure didn't mean to collect that. I remember theorizing that these huts were a giant civilization when I made my video on the Bionis shoulder many years ago, and I suppose, yeah, size-wise it does line up pretty well. For those that don't know, the Bionis shoulder was an unused area in the original version of Xenoblade Chronicles, and it was the first time that we ever got to officially run around this place here. While we're in town, in true Xenoblade tradition, I recommend accepting every quest you see, as you'll likely complete them passively without even trying. Have you come here across Highland? Then you must have met those ether-based organisms along the way? I speak of the common monsters composed entirely of ether. These ether organisms have appeared all across Highland recently, and in large numbers too. There must be at least 2 points they're spawning from, as their exact properties differ based on location. Anyway, I'm concerned. When these organisms gather, they create a strong ether field that attracts other monsters. If you haven't seen them spawn yourself, it's possible there is some prerequisite to it happening that we're not aware of. If you notice a flock of these organisms in your travels, I'd like to ask you to eliminate them with all haste. We have ether font! Is that what the text is made out of on the screen? Ah ha 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 ha. So we get armor for completing quests. We can't get these from monster drops as we heard before. I didn't go shopping right away as we're gonna get new stuff anyhowsies from doing all this stuff. We gotta beat 3 Wind Nebula and 3 Aqua Nebula. Thank you very much. Actually, it's my little brother who told me all about this. He vowed to take matters into his own hands if the situation did not improve on its own. But as a sister, I'd prefer that he not put himself in harm's way. I'm sorry to trouble you all, but I hope you understand this is for the common good. Fortune be with you. Rest assured that your issue will be attended to with haste. So, on that note, we are going to be doing every side quest in this game. And I do mean every side. Oh, shut up. It's only like 25 quests. It's not that impressive of a feat. I know it's none of a business of mine to be asking outsiders, but would you consider assisting us with a hunt? Some of our people sustained injuries while out on the last one, leaving us somewhat short-staffed. Tell me in greater detail. Like Melia said, I don't think we have enough to go on right now. Go down from here, and in the direction of the lake, you'll arrive at Highland, where we're going anyway. There you should find some Machina X. We were able to lure them out with bait not long ago. Would it trouble you to defeat them and collect some X iron hearts for us? Once you finish, be sure to lay some bait to the west of Highland. They won't congregate if we don't coax them out, and our hunters could do with the assistance. X are quite partial to rainbow carrots. It would spare us a great deal of effort if you were to find some for us. I'll take that. I hope it's not too much trouble to ask all this of you, but we'd greatly appreciate it if you could find the time. Rest assured that your issue will be attended to with haste. She says that to everybody. She's just so helpful. Chronicles is next up. I like the lighting right now, how it's like very close to night, but not quite. Hello there. Would you feel about assisting with my research? Come now, don't make those faces. It's an easy task, I swear. I'll take the grimace as a happily, ma'am, shall I? See, I've developed this tool for exploiting ether deposits. A common ether pick, if you will, and I'd like you to test it out. You're still looking uncertain. Struck dumb by my apparent genius? Oh, of course! You're used to being able to mine ether deposits on Bionis with run-of-the-mill tools, aren't you? Well, that won't work here on the Bionis shoulder. The deposits are too dense, so you'll need a specialized implement, i.e. this. Previous iterations of the ether pick were pretty heavy machinery though, requiring training and a license to operate. So to cut through the rigmarole, I looked into developing one that even lay people like you could use right from the off. If you prove me right, I'll even let you keep it once you're done. How about it? We saw these ether deposits all around town and we weren't able to do anything with them. Oh, you'll do it? Well, that's just grand. See, I made the thing, so it wouldn't mean anything if I'd only tested it myself. Thanks. I used to have an assistant helping me, but they seemed dissatisfied for some reason and ran off before I knew it. Common ether pick. Just mosey on up to an ether deposit, heft the common ether pick, and use it to give the deposit a good whack. Do let me know how you get on. Rest assured you shall be attended to with haste, like I said. If I recall Carinel's words, I should locate an ether deposit, then give it a good whack. No time like the present, I suppose. I look forward to this experience. Well, that didn't sound too good. Broken ether pick. What just happened? Carinel? Melia doesn't know her own biceps. Hey. Thanks for that. I have to say, I didn't expect it to break so easily, though. Right, give it here for a minute. I see. So the problem is durability. All right. Due to the higher ether density on the Bionis shoulder, it seems crystallises form into it seems it crystallizes into a form that's perfect for gems. I did not recognize that word. Usually crystallize is spelled with a Z. Just for reinforcing the pick is likely to improve the yield in practice. Thank you all. This has been a valuable learning opportunity. I feel I can take my research to the next level now. I did want you to have the common ether pick as thanks, but now that it's broken, it won't really do, will it? Well, that's too bad. I'll just have to give you the old retail model instead. Like I said, it's got its kinks, so it requires a trained hand, but it's better than nothing, right? You should be able to use it to harvest decent purity ether gems from all over the shoulder. Saves you time crafting. There's our first one done. We get the ether pick. She died. On the Bionis shoulder, you can use a tool called the ether pick to mine actual gems from ether deposits, not just crystals. If you exhaust a given deposit, check back after a while. As you progress through the story, you may be able to obtain a more efficient ether pick. With a better ether pick, you can mine gems of a higher rank. So rather than having to do any sort of gem refinement or any of that, we can just mine gems right out of the ground. We got HP up, which is what it sounds like, just giving us more health, and an arts heal that heals us every time that we use an art. There was somebody that I wanted to talk to. Yeah, Cape Resident. I'm hard at work setting up very special kind of shop here. I'd love it if you could come back later. Be sure to remember that. And we saw another ether deposit out by the end of the cape. Let's go check it out. A kilo pumpkin. I think 1 kilo is kind of small for a pumpkin. I was gonna say it sounds big, but no, it kind of doesn't. Not a rainbow carrot. Show me the gems, show me the money. Ether defense up 3, okay, that defends us from ether attacks, as the name implies. Chill attack 2, Melia has an art that's helped by that. Oh. Ether defense up 2. And that's all she wrote. Going into our equipment, some gems can only be attached to weapon slots, and those are the ones that should be dealt with first. Chill attack here is one such one. If I were to say go to, well, I don't have any armor that has slots on it, so I guess I can't show that. But point is, I would recommend dealing with these first. Chill attack up is a weapon only one. Actually, yeah, we can sort by weapon gem and then you can see it. So arts heal and chill attack. We'll put chill attack on Melia, we'll put arts heal on Shulk, just so that we have something as opposed to nothing. Some quests can only be found at certain times of day. Linear here was not giving us a quest when we were talking to these people at night. Huh? So I want to get him first. Need something? If you do, well, I'm busy. Can it wait? No, wait, I spoke too soon. Actually, I would like to ask you to perform some tasks for me. I would normally not reach out to strangers such as yourselves, but there is a limit to what I can achieve myself. I received requests for assistance from some younger companions, and I'd like to ask you to resolve their issues. They should not prove too difficult, yet the volume of work was high, so I was feeling quite harried. Tell me in greater detail. Like Melia said, I don't think we had enough to go on right now. Melia, that's an excellent Shulk impression. Indeed. Oh, what? She looked right at me to say that. It felt very for the Wally. First, Gwyneth's request, which pertains to gathering plump wildgrass. It has gotten rarer lately, hence the task of picking it is more taxing than it once was. Second, Fadelis's job of winnowing the praying caterpillar population. These in turn grew more and more numerous until their numbers are indeed needed culling. Thirdly, the request from Lauban, who was tasked by handling the number of noble brogs. Those critters have been breeding too much for our liking and need a little population control. Gather 5 lots of plump wildgrass, subdue 3 praying caterpillars, as well as 2 noble brogs. I would be grateful if you could undertake those 3 jobs for me, if it's not too much to ask, of course. Okay. Very good then. I shall let you get the details of each mission from the concerned parties. Rest assured that your issue will be attended to with haste. We gotta talk to 3 other people. We open up this quest here, and we're gonna set this one to active. We may have one quest active at a time, and it'll tell us where we can find the people that are around here. Or actually, does it? No, it actually just tells us where the objectives are. We don't need to talk to anybody. What am I saying? I want to set Praying Caterpillar control active now that I know that we don't need to go talk to anybody, as that's the objective that just has a lot of stuff on the way to it. I'm gonna try to be efficient here, taking care of everything, and it's time for us to head out of Companion's Cape and actually take care of all this stuff. So Melia is going to be our lead for a little while. She is an ether-based attacker, meaning that she deals really well with enemies that have, well, low ether defense, such as the Nebula that we heard that we need to take out. Physical attackers can't really handle more, well, nebulous enemies quite so well. So we want to have her for that. I would say that Melia is the raw attacker. Shulk is more of the support technician, where he has all sorts of interesting buffs on him. And he does really good physical damage, whereas Melia is more ether-focused. Nene is the tank, and Kino is the healer. That should give you a good idea of what the party is like. Phlegmatic Jameer, I do not want to mess with you quite yet. We'll deal with unique monsters another time. For now, let's set up Melia. We have not done a whole lot of setup on our party. We definitely want Summon Bolt. As mentioned before, it's just a high damage effect, and it gives us ether up. We want to be using that first. So I'll select that and move it over to our first slot. Summon Aqua gives us healing over time, and it also absorbs HP from the enemy whenever we discharge it. This is not a super important one. There is a build with it that I'd like to do, but I think I'm just gonna overwrite it with Summon Ice. Ice, when it's summoned around our user, will inflict ether damage down on enemies. That's pretty helpful for some of the things that we're doing today. And when we discharge it, it does damage over time effects to the enemies. Melia's damage over time is one of the best reasons to play her. Similar to Summon Ice is Summon Flare, which does less damage but is an AoE. I recommend this less than the other ones. I think Summon Ice does a really good job, just damage a circle around the user, whereas this is a circle around the target. Summon Earth is a single target that inflicts poison damage. We're able to stack multiple damage over time effects and just do a lot to a boss over a lot of time. I'm gonna move Summon Copy over here. Summon Wind is an agility up buff by 10% whenever we have it active, and it just does ether damage when it's done. It's weaker than Summon Bolt, but it is a useful stat to have. Agility is the best stat in the game. It raises accuracy and evasion, but isn't too helpful on Melia because ether attacks bypass accuracy anyway. Reflection gives Melia a barrier for 5 seconds and cannot reflect talent arts. If we could get visions and know what arts were coming, this would be pretty helpful. As it stands, it's basically the only way to mitigate damage on Melia. If a boss has some kind of tell where you can see them using an art ahead of time, it's useful for that. Not for much else though. Healing Gift. Melia gives her own HP to allies. When paired with Summon Aqua, this can be a pretty decent light healing build. I think I'd rather just have Kino in the party most of the time. Power Effect is an aura that excites elementals, boosting their range of their effects. This is just boosting the range for other party members to get the effects when she has the elementals above her head. It doesn't do anything else. Not really the most necessary thing to dedicate a slot to. Burst End. This is only available after an elemental burst. As we use Melia's ether discharges enough, her talent art gauge will go up and it'll enable use of some of her most powerful effects. This one does physical defense down and especially ether defense down on the enemy for 14.4 seconds. That's pretty good. It's a circle around the user too. However, it's in direct competition with Mind Blast, Melia's signature. What are you doing if you're not using Mind Blast? Mind Blast is the highest damage out of all of her arts. It has a really long cooldown, but it removes auras on the enemy, seals the arts, and it keeps them sealed for a long time. I think you want that more than anything else. Hypnotize. Inflicts sleep on an enemy. If you bop an enemy on the head at all, even with an AoE attack, they wake up, and that's kinda lame. It's only useful in groups of regular enemies. You're probably not gonna inflict sleep on a boss for very long with everybody focusing on it. I probably would not keep this. Shadow Stitch. It makes an enemy unable to move, binding them to the ground. It's fine, I guess. It lets you escape from enemies and keep a safe distance from them if they just won't leave you alone. It's something, I guess. You knew it was coming. Spear Break and Starlight Kick. I'm gonna put those on. We'll get into them a little bit later. I think I'll put Reflection on, just so we have that. Let's do that, so that way I have ease of use from just pressing up in the middle. Okay, Spear Break, Starlight Kick. Normally, characters have a break art that enables you to inflict topple on them. Melia, instead, does spear break, then starlight kick to do it. This is noteworthy because a lot of enemies have break resistance. She gets around that and can just force the enemy toppled. Once the enemy's toppled, you saw Nene kept toppling her. I assume this Pickaxe is a girl. Nene kept using topple. You can just topple into other topples and she basically opens Pandora's box. Melia is really good for this purpose. Enemies have topple immunities far less often than they have break immunities. Put her together with Nene and the enemy is gonna stay down for a long time. So in battle, we wanna start off by doing Ether Up with Summon Bolt. Inflict 2 damage over times on the enemy with these. Then we can topple. I guess they already did it for me. I can summon Copy to get 2 more of these Summon Bolts. And the fight is over. Well, I was going to unleash Armageddon upon their anus. What, he's got like a giant ass. Just look at him. Okay, well this one's higher leveled at least, so maybe we'll actually get to do bigger fighting here. When enemies toppled, by the way, your attacks will never miss it, they will take increased critical damage, and ether attacks will always critical. This is why Melia's damage is so good. Okay, the enemy's getting back up. Let's make sure it doesn't stay up. Boom! And then we will do bolts! And that's it. I got Elemental Burst right as the fight ended. What else is new? We got the X Iron Heart that we need, and then the last one that we need. Whoa, this is actually a pretty tough enemy over here. We'll just take him out the same old way. Oh boy, I can Mind Blast! I can Mind Blast! Here we go! Boom! So satisfying to pull off. Now I think, not only did we finish that, we gotta do the place to do the bait. Okay. Not only did we take him out, but I think, because we beat the enemy so quickly, if I were to get into another fight with the Wind Nebula, then yeah, my gauge is basically full. I could just do a Summon Bolt here, get that, and then start the fight with it again. If you beat the fight quick enough, the gauge does not go away, and you can just exploit that basically endlessly. We'll do our damage over time against you. Okay, go. Manifest yourself. I love Melia's weapon here. It's like red like the Monado. I presume that Shulk built it because he built his own weapon as well. It's known as the World Ender. It's such a neat weapon name and just so cool. I just really, really like it for Melia. It just accents her super well. So that was where the first Wind Nebula was. I see quest objectives just all over the frickin' map. Let me go into the quest log and update this. Ah, just south of here. That's where they be. All right, well, I'm gonna take care of the remaining Ether Nebulae. I don't like how the plural of Nebula is Nebulae. It's always just bothered me. And I'll see you in a moment. And there's a bird. There's always a bird. Maybe I can do this. Okay, let's... No, it's immune to topple, dang it. I was gonna try to topple it over the ledge because you can kill enemies instantly by doing that. Whoa! From taking out not the nebula, but other stuff, we got the official staff. Man, right after I praise the World Ender, I gotta take it off because this is just better. Doesn't have as good of, it has a 0% critical rate, but you know, everything else is great, so we'll just put chill attack on that and be good. Oh boy. Whoa, I did it, go, 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 yes! I insta-killed an enemy. It's so satisfying when you knock an enemy off a cliff and instantly do it. Spear Break knocks the enemy back a little bit, so it can help you with pulling that off. It's another reason why I enjoy playing as Melia so much. And I think just my reliance on doing that is part of the reason why I thought Melia was the best character in battle for so long. What? Oh God, where am I? Oh. No. The ground is slippery. Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. There is always a bird. It doesn't seem to matter where I'm fighting. Some bird always flies up and just annoys me. We got a level up on, was that, oh no, it's, was that Nate? Yeah, that was Nene. Nene got a level, she was only level 59. I thought everyone started at level 60, I guess not. Set the caterpiles to active. It looks like there's caterpiles all over the frickin' ground. We can skip travel up this way. And there we go. We got some red collection orbs as well. All right, plump wild grass. That's what we were sent here to collect. And we'll take these guys out. I don't know why, but I think the name Caterpile is so cute. Oh, look at it, it's like jiggling back and forth when it's toppled. Man, for a giant, horrific, spiky insect that could eat me alive in one gulp, you're pretty adorable, I'm not gonna lie. Well, right behind the caterpiles and the plump wild grass is the Aqua Nebula that we need to take out. They're all clumped together, it's all coming together. Oh, I fell in the water. Oh, that didn't last long. Let's do this, let's do that. So this enemy has this radiation symbol on it. It is an ether type enemy. Ether type enemies will aggro if you use ether attacks near them, making Melia, well, not really a liability though, but it is something to be mindful of. The other enemy types are vision, which have an eye, and sound, which has 3 sound waves on it, or I guess the symbol on Kino's chest, really. Usually ether type enemies have low ether defense, making them easy pickings for someone like Melia. And yeah, I think we can just deal with the caterpiles around here, deal with the nebula around here, get the plump wild grass, and we should be pretty good. Let's do it. Oh, there's an aurora out tonight. Just had to share this view with you. At least I get to have a cool backdrop behind me while I'm kicking all these bugs' asses. There's all the caterpiles, just got a hell of a lot of money for that. And then there's all of our plump wild grass. More money for that, $20,000 for picking up 5 pieces of grass. Some people are just really freaking lazy. Back over by the junks where we started is where the last 2 ether nebulae tend to be. It bothers me how they call it the junks. They just call it junks in the base game. I think it was a translation thing that was not consistent across the 2 releases. It's just one of those little things. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but it is something that I noticed. And just around these is where the noble brogs are. Didn't even realize that. I knew that all the other enemies were close together, and I was like, wait a minute, where are those? Well, they go down with relative ease. We're about to get up to level 62 already. Moving right along, given that I don't even think we're gonna gain 20 levels over the course of this entire playthrough. There it is, 62 for Shulk and Melia. Mollusk mucus. Ugh. Can I beat them before I get swept off of the cliff? I refuse to move. The water's just gonna push me. There was one time where a water slide had like some kind of problem and I couldn't go when I was the next person, and they were telling me to not go, but the water pressure building up behind me was making it really freaking hard to hold on to the guardrails on the side and not go down off of the cliff, and I was like trying so hard for them and I was so nervous the whole way, and then I can just walk out of the way. Quest complete, $28,000. All we gotta do is return to Tulliana and Lainar and whatever your name was, Hamelin.
Hey.
Hey! My little brother tells me the ether organism situation is under control now. It's thanks to you, isn't it? Thank you. What can I say but you're welcome. Anemone Brim and Princess Dress. I wanna try that on. All of us living here have to keep our wits about us if we wanna preserve our peace. We had you. Oh, this is respawned already. Well, it definitely means the other one's respawn, so I'll go get that too. Damage heal, that makes so that you recover a little bit of HP every time you take damage. I don't like that effect. Poison defense might be situationally useful. So you've returned with the X Iron Heart, my thanks. These ought to revitalize our injured warriors. They may be hard to stomach, but their powerful medicinal properties are sure to expedite the healing process. And since you've laid out the bait, our next round of hunting should be relatively painless. We're very much indebted to you to this day. Thank you. There's our Rudra equipment. Another day has gone by and we've been still hanging out around here. Ah, you again. I heard back from Gwyneth and the rest. I'm sure glad their issues were resolved. While I have your ear, there's something I realized earlier. It's quite possible that the caterpiles gathered to eat the plump wild grass and the brogs to eat the caterpiles. Seeing as how you've taken out the caterpiles and brogs, the wild grass might come back sometime soon. We'll have some food shortages to grapple with until then, but that is my problem. Lucky for everyone that you've won me some breathing room here, eh? I hope I was of some help. Thank you for your help. We're all in your debt. And sorry for looking down my nose at you all. That wasn't exactly gracious. I'm sorry, I'm short. Level up for Nene. We're just rolling in it around here. I'm gonna go grab those other gems. We got gems that inflict slow, a slow 2 and a slow 3, and chill attack 2. Oh, this does not do what I thought it did. It just makes it so that your auto attack has a chance of inflicting extra chill damage. Okay, that's kind of crappy. Let's do slow. That's better. It's not like I had good gems as alternatives anyway. That was the only option that I even had for Melia that made any sense. Slow makes it so that our auto attack has a chance of inflicting slow on the enemy, making it so that their arts take longer to recharge. Melia's auto attack is not terribly useful. That's not really a good source of damage on her, so giving her at least something on her auto attack I think is a lot better than nothing. That's everything we can take care of at Companion's Cape, but on the way back at the Junks is a new quiet moment. I'll say the Junks even though it bothers me. Let's see. You can't view this quiet moment. That is a complaint I have with Xenoblade 1. I don't like how the quiet moments, or heart-to-hearts in some cases, how you constantly get told, you can't view this, you can't view this, you can't view this. It's always, you can't view this. It feels like it takes forever before you actually can view them. And then on top of that, I like the quiet moments being voiced in Future Connected, but I don't like how the the heart-to-hearts in the base game aren't voiced, and they didn't get they got the voice actors back to do this, but they didn't get them back to do those. I don't know, I guess not the whole voice cast appears in Future Connected, so maybe that's why. It's probably why, actually, but it just bothered me that was the case. I wanted to go up this way real quick and grab this red item over here, just because it's pretty easily missed, and I just thought that would be good to get it while we're here. Back on the Junks, we've cleared out this area pretty soundly. And the next place that we were heading to was the Grandel Ramparts, where the Machina and other Hyantia are. Right through that gate is our destination. But I think we're gonna end things off here. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, we make our way to the next area of the Bionis Shoulder toward the Grandel Ramparts. See you guys then.